Testing one, two, testing one, two. Can you
We
hear
are
me?
live. Hello, everyone. This is your girl, Natural Nubian. I'm here today with Mr. Spencer LaCapra. All right. And we are actually going to do a very informal interview about who is this mystery man? This mystery man going live in the studio. Anyway, Mrs. Spencer, I
Yeah.
want you to introduce yourself to these lovely people today. Tell them who you are.
Okay. Well, I'm Spencer LaCapra. Hey, I live here in Alexandria, Virginia. I've lived here for the last 30 years, a retired military, and got a family of five, wife, and been married 43 years, and three adults.
43 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Right. And hey, I really enjoy. My experience and the times I have in my church. And I'm really a full-time personal financial success coach. And
All
I'm
right.
partnered with a company called My Econ Incorporated. And I teach and educate people and try to inspire people to obtain personal financial success. So that's how I spend most of my time using strategies because I know everybody don't necessarily like to sell or don't want to sell. But
Well,
there's
Mr.
some other
Spencer,
things.
let me stop you on that because you said something. You teach people how to develop a personal success story. I want to know, what does that mean? Because to me, I'm like, personally knowing you, I'm like, he's just on a mission, a man on a mission trying to help people to reevaluate their financial situations and how to develop a new way, a new tone, or a new narrative. Share with us, what do you do to create these success stories? What do you do to empower people?
Well, I try to keep it as simple as possible. And
Uh-huh.
believe it or not, most people enjoy or they try to enjoy some level of success. And the reason I say that, most people have jobs or they have some monies coming in from various sources. They may have a business or job and a business. And so they have what's enough in some point in time to take care of their lifestyle. So if a
Okay.
person can do that, they are successful. But here's the problem sometimes. Oftentimes we have to stop working. Maybe we
Mm-hmm.
don't like working.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we just want to retire.
Mm-hmm.
And so we've got to build assets simultaneously while
Mm-hmm.
we do that work during the working years. And then so when you stop working, the money is still coming in. See, that's the reason Social Security was really developed to give people that extra income they needed. So,
So you actually teaching people about cash flow strategies to help improve their create some residual income while they're in the process of working and developing a because when I think about it, I work a pretty decent job. I make pretty good money, but
uh-huh.
if you're working for someone else, you're always missing out on something. And it's like, I want to know what it's like to be able to work for myself and develop my own financial future, and just share a little bit about how my econ can make that happen. What do you do in terms of helping that?
Well, that's a great question. And I like to respond by saying, first of all, I'm not anti-job. So a
Okay.
job is good. It can be a very good asset to you during the working years because it pays the bills. You're not stressed out on when the money is going to come in because when a person decides to become an entrepreneur, they
Right.
have to go out and sometimes do the work. Then they got to go market to
Hmm.
have people to know about what is it you're doing and still do the work. So that
Okay.
can really put them at a disadvantage. So the type of business that I share with people is I say, okay, look, let's take a look at your job first of all. And
Okay.
so if you've got a job, chances are a W-2 income, chances are you're overpaying your taxes.
Mm-hmm.
So if
Mm-hmm.
you're overpaying your taxes and you get chance to get some of your money back that's going out to the government,
Mm-hmm.
each and every month and put that in your pocket, you could probably use that money to pay down debt or for lifestyle or for investing.
Right. Right. That's true.
Yeah. And so I'm trying to help people cut their tax bill legally maybe an extra 10 to 15% on an average.
What? And,
Yeah,
and usually we pay what, 23%, something like that. So you cut
absolutely.
it by 10 to 10, I could go for a little 10%. That's pretty impressive for me because I can start putting $1,000 each month in my investment account. So
Right, right,
that
right.
sounds pretty impressive to me.
Well, yeah, actually, the average person is going to start somewhere between 25 and about 38, 39% of their income going to
Mhm.
taxes. So,
Wow.
when you say you cut it down legally by filing what's called a Schedule C, you can
Hmm.
really put yourself in a great position.
Yeah.
Really. And that's all done with things that you're doing now. Like you're probably driving your automobile, for example.
Oh, yeah.
Well, if you have a business in conjunction with that and you
Hmm.
do some business, you maybe give a business card to someone, you've actually attempted to do business.
Okay.
And by doing that, that can be a legitimate tax write-off. Maybe if you use the standard mileage method,
Hmm.
you could even write your miles off at a tune of about 57.5 cents per mile.
Yeah.
So a person that put 10,000 business miles on their
Mhm.
vehicle, that could be over $5,000
What?
tax deduction.
What? That's a
Mhm.
savings right there for me.
Right, right. Well,
When
that's
you
just
think
like
about,
putting if you're in the 25% tax bracket, that's just like
mhm.
putting an extra, 12.5 back in your pocket, $1,250 back in your pocket.
So when you start talking this financial talk, I mean, you talking numbers, and numbers multiply and they add up, right?
Right.
So I tell my friends, I'm like, okay, you want to be a business owner, but you don't want to put the labor in there. You don't want to do no work. You just want somebody to do the work for you. So what's your expectations when you start developing a team with My Econ?
Well, the first thing that I try to do is have them have some movement in their finances. And
Hmm.
so we have a piece of software we call our cash flow manager. And this
Hmm.
cash flow manager gives you a picture of what's going on, what's coming in and what's going out.
Okay.
And when a
Okay.
person starts to look at how they can have more coming in than
Uh-huh.
going out, they get real serious about putting together a plan to start investing at the very
Right.
least. And then somewhere every now and then we find people that want to share this with other friends and family members or just people they know on the internet.
Hmm.
And we have it packaged and we monetize it in such a fashion that people can make $50 every time they share this information with someone, as
Okay.
many times as they do that. And on the backside of that, we'll even pay them a residual income because there's a small monthly fee attached
Okay.
to this. Mhm.
Well, making a little extra money for sharing the platform with somebody, that's a no-brainer. I just don't understand why more people are not willing to advocate and to share a positive platform, financial education with people, family, friends. I know sometimes family are very tough. They're the worst critics we can possibly have because they want to see what you do. Oh, I want to see how much money you make. And then when they see you make the money, then they're in. I don't understand that. But when we're trying to collaborate as a team, to grow a team, to impact one another and motivate and encourage, what do we need to do, Mr. Spencer? You got all kind of systems in place, like the large system. You got this. I'm like, how do we do this, Mr. Spencer?
Well, you have to first of all understand that just in life, no matter what you do,
Mm,
a small percentage of people are going to accept what you're saying as truth and make some kind of attempt
okay.
without them visually seeing you have some success. I mean, that's kind of the way it is. But
Wow.
so that just tells you that you have to have enough people. I'm getting a little feedback. Do you hear that feedback?
I don't. It's very clear. It's
Oh,
very clear.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. You're very clear.
Okay, good. So what I'm saying is you have to understand that maybe 2 or 3 out of 10 people that you talk to will do business with you. Those are the kind of the numbers.
The
And
rule of 20, 30%, huh?
right, that's kind of the way it is. So, but that's in any sales profession. Trust me, I
Yeah.
sold telecommunication equipment and vacuum cleaners and
Mm-hmm.
soap and a whole bunch of things. And
Mm-hmm.
those numbers kind of pan out the same way, no matter what you're
They
doing.
do. They really do, Mr.
Right.
Spencer. I remember we sent out, we were trying to build a church and we sent out all these mail outs to the whole community here in Palm Coast. And he's like, we ain't gonna get but 30%, maybe that, and
Mhm.
he was right. I mean, we sent out so much, 30% of the community actually knew about it. The other ones, they was like, I don't know nothing about that. Like they weren't interested. But
Mhm.
just trying to cultivate an environment that will be supportive is very challenging. And I don't want my econ associates and people who work under me to get discouraged. But sometimes we got to think about the goals that we set for ourselves. And like, some people are like, oh, it's all about money. Okay, yeah, it's about money, but what you doing to make the money and what you're doing to make a difference in somebody else's life. And that's the way I see it as a ministry. Like, I'm trying to support you because I have mine. Now I want you to get yours. So it's like we leverage that support in that system, in that network, and where I might not know something, you may know more. So we kind of, we learn from each other and we grow.
Absolutely correct. Well, what I've learned to do is, I find techniques and ways to stay away from the nose. Like, in other
Okay.
words, I like to talk about things with people that really they're excited about first.
Okay.
I very seldom start giving my spiel about what is it I do. I always ask them, I have a system that I call the forms technique. I ask them something about their family,
I gotta take.
what kind of
Yeah.
occupation, what do they do for recreation, and
Uh-huh.
are they interested in making more money? Or what is one of the things they're doing to create more money? And so
Mm-hmm.
I use that form system to get them to tell me more about themselves. If I can get a person to explain to me or give me some insight as to what they're wanting to do, all I have to do is help them accomplish their dreams and goals. And then inside of that are my dreams and goals. So it's never about me. It's always about how I can help somebody else.
Okay, okay. I had to type that in there real quick because that was important. You said listen and find out what's important to that person. That's very important. I am a nurse practitioner and I'm pretty successful in my career right now. I'm a pat myself. Because it's not too many of us do what I do, and I go in the hospital setting, and as far as African American nurse practitioners, only a small portion of us, probably like two or three, and I go into a hospital where it's 12 floors. Okay, I go in and I go from the top to the bottom, and I collaborate with so many specialists. And when I say specialists, I'm talking cardiologists, open heart surgery, vascular surgeons, renal, kidney, and the kidney doctors, you already know, they have a knowledge out of this world. And when I'm talking to them, they're talking about pipes, numbers, and all this. I'm like, oh my God, it's so much information. But it's exciting because, I learn as I listen and I grow. And I'm like, if somebody knows something a little bit more than me, I'm willing to listen. Hey, I'm all ears. Teach me something I don't know. And I want to be around people who know a little something, something, because I don't have time for all that. Oh, she did this and she said this, and that's not my world. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
it's
Well, another thing I believe that we have to remember is that we're influenced by information systems and traditions.
okay.
And I think a lot of time, because of tradition, things that have been done throughout our lifetime,
Hmm.
we kind of get in those habits. And
Okay.
so if entrepreneurship has not been something that's really been embraced by your family, it's difficult to talk with someone sometime that have to go out and create their income, so to speak.
Okay.
And
Okay.
because nowadays we become so systematized in the last 30 or 40 years. I mean, we can't go to a real good restaurant nowadays unless it's some type of chain.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so,
No.
when you say,
Oh, that drives me nuts.
right,
Yeah.
right. So
Oh.
you're either accustomed to getting a number one or number two or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the way it
Yeah.
is.
You're
And
right.
and so, but the good news on that is that lets me know that we're at the ground level
Mm-hmm.
of teaching and educating people about these systems. And so I've been able to work at it for about the last 15, 20 years. And I've perfected, and influenced over 5,000 people in
Oh,
business.
wow.
And so by doing this and understanding and being in the right environment, I was
Mhm.
able to break that tradition of, oh, nobody's going to do this, because of the first two or three no's that I may have received. I
Okay.
just kind of kept going through the process of reaching out to people, and there's always somebody that's interested in becoming a star pupil. I mean,
Okay.
when we were in the situation where we were competing for grades,
Yeah.
everybody's always had that person in their class that always made the top grades,
Yeah.
scored the best on tests and
Right.
excel at whether it was a sporting event or a dance event. And so
Right.
you always have those kinds of people. And you
Mm-hmm.
never know when you're going to attract a person like that with a revolutionary strategy like we have in my econ. It's not something that hasn't been around. It just
Right.
hasn't been practiced on a regular basis. And we were able
Right.
to take our strategies to the masses of people.
Right, right. That's true. Well, we're actually coming up on that time and we went a little bit over today.
Okay.
However, this is part one. We're going to keep this session going. I'm excited and I've learned a lot just from listening to you. That what motivates the motivator, we motivate each other. So I am excited and I appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule today to join me here, Natural Nubian or Jeanette Cooper Bryant. And hopefully we'll get together and we'll start doing more sessions where we can teach people little tools on how to grow financially. I actually I'm at the point when you first met me, I was furloughed, and now I'm at that point where I'm like, I'm ready to hire me some nurses to work for me,
Right.
CNA, all of that. So my success story has changed, but that's because my mindset shifted. Like, I don't
Oh,
have to be poor. I don't have to think like I don't think and grow rich. What do I say? All right, so I appreciate you. If there was any questions, it would have came through the thing here. But what we could do with the YouTube, they can always post stuff, and if we go back to it from time to time, we can always type in the answer and show them where they can get the resources from. And
okay.
again, we're with My Econ, and I thank you so much for joining us today. This is Orjanette Cooper Bryant and Mr. Spencer LaCapra. All
Okay.
right.
All right. Thank you.